This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander, broadcasting only on the Vegas Stats and Information Network.
He's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
Analytics, statistics, and more are used to win wagers, and Gill has every number you need to cash your tickets. Now, live from the VSiN studios in the South Point Hotel and Casino, it's Gill Alexander.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game right here at VSiN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Sirius XM Channel 204, VSiN.com, the VSiN app, Fubo TV, Sling TV, and, of course, Game Plus in Canada, New York City, New Jersey. We appreciate everybody tuning into the show. And joining me this hour, typically he's in Thursday, hour number 2, but he had a thing yesterday, so we had to stagger, and Chrissy was in telling great stories yesterday for his book. Then One Day, 40 Years of Bookmaking in Nevada, giving away signed copies. But he's here today, typically on Thursday, but here on Friday, it's our friend Bill Krackomberger. Good morning, Billy.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. And, it was like a last-second change here, and you said you were accommodatable. Come on in Friday.
Accommodatable.
That's great.
What happened to your flight last night? Tell everybody what you're a
I was
yeoman.
supposed to be in at 10:30, and I got in around 1:15, 1:30. Went to bed around 3:30, but I'm here.
Look at him. Toughing it out. At Bill Crackman with the K, by the way, on Twitter, everybody. And you were on the East Coast, and what were some of the things that you were doing over there?
Yes, I was at the PointsBet headquarters in Jersey City. Brand new offices overlooking Manhattan. Really nice. Did some promotional videos for them. Mm-hmm. And, I actually went down to Atlantic City for a day and terrorized them a little bit.
Yeah?
They beat me for $2,500, but...
They beat you for $2,500?
Yeah. I lose. Huh? I lose.
So you weren't doing the terrorizing.
My little video poker habit I have, even though I have positive VV, you know? So I have a deal where I go in and you give me $1,000 up front. And that sounds like a lot of money, but I have to put 100,000 through the machine. So that I have to cycle 100,000 through the machine. It sounds like a lot of money, 100. It's really not. You're playing $75 a hand, and the machine's a 9-6 jacks game, which is a very good game. It's a 99.5 game. So technically, I have the edge because I'm also getting cash back. I'm getting comps. I'm getting rooms. I'm getting meals. And but if you don't hit a royal, you're not going to win. So, and it's probably the toughest thing for a gambler to do. You're down $2,500. You still got a pocket full of money,
right? But
you've reached 100,000 go with my deal structure, and I take a loss now. That's it. Now I get up. And, my tail between my legs and head out. And it's hard to do for a gambler. It's the number one hardest thing to do is to leave taking a loss when you have more money in your pocket. But that's the idea, though. It's a deal. I know I'll have that deal again next time I go, and I'll start over again and put 100,000, cycle 100,000 through the machine. And I'll have that, maybe I have a little bit less than a 1% edge. But it's kind of a release for me, too, if that makes any sense. Not that losing $2,500 that kind of hurts, but it's just a peaceful release. You have nothing to do. You're just playing video poker, and it's kind of a fun thing too. Obviously, these games are all fun. They gear these games towards TV shows and different things that's on TV. So video poker is kind of a fun thing for me to play too. And it's always like you always just want to just get like one royal. You just want one royal flush to be happy and did not get one, so I took a little loss. But the promotional videos at PointsBet were good, and we talked about some things that they have. I know they're still an advertiser here, correct?
They are, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I did some videos. I put them up on my Twitter feed, and they're like the industry leader, really, with the 05 juice, and they're $10,000 guarantee to all the guys that want to bet a lot of money, and for the opposite side of that, which is the more prevalent side, anyone that bets $100 or $200. They have the best promotions in the business, so they have a lot of. They had a. I don't know if they still have it. Actually, I should know this. I should be more up on this. But they had a promotion. If you bet a basketball game, a money line game, and if your team was leading going into the fourth quarter, I think it was.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, they pay you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of promotions there geared towards the little guy. And now they have a name your bet promotion. You can name the bet. You can give it to their traders. They'll put a lineup on it.
Wait, how vast of a? I mean, what can you say? Sports related, or
yes,
can I say
sports related?
Build trips before he leaves the casino.
Yeah,
give me a number.
Well, you could do that too, but that could be easily corruptible. So
that's true. Bill could take a dive,
right,
and we could be in on it.
The ones I seen there was will the Patriots start out 0-2?
Oh, I
10
see.
to 1. Like someone wanted that, they gave him a price. It's 10 to 1.
I like that.
Yeah, of course. I like to lay the no on that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But yeah.
But you see, that's how, in a perfect world, that's how this should be, right? Like to be able to name your bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Who was the guy that was up in the booth there with Tessitore? Was that Witten talking?
Witten was and no longer.
Okay. Now he's back on the team. Is he back on Dallas?
Back
Is that
on the
right?
Cowboys. Yeah.
I know my NFL players. Okay.
Well done, Bill.
One of the things that was, will Witten score over five touchdowns or more? They put it plus 175.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
He has to have 5 or more touchdowns.
For the season?
For the season. Yeah. So
Might go
it's like
over
name
on
your
that.
bets. Pretty cool. A couple places are doing it, though. It's not just them. So, listen, they're innovative. Nevada is just starting to see it a little bit. We're going to see that with the new Derek Stevens.
Well, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
Because this is very exciting for those of us here. And Mitch and Paulie had Derek Stevens and Mike Palm on their show yesterday. I was able to talk to them briefly when they came off. And one of the things that I said to them, first of all, for those who have missed it, Derek Stevens, owner of the D Hotel, a casino owner there in downtown, is going to first of all, the casino Circa will open in 2020, and we show the renderings of it yesterday. We showed it all over the network for over a month now. Look at that thing, Bill. Look at that. That's going to be in downtown. That's Circa. And that's scheduled for a late 2020 opening, or mid-2020, somewhere in there. But our studio and the sportsbook, look at that sportsbook. Look at all those screens. Look at the size of that.
Oh, it doesn't even look real.
Look at the scale of that.
That's unbelievable.
Is that properly scaled?
They're
My
really
God.
They're really going all out.
So before that, though, they are going to open their first independent sportsbooks beginning with the Golden Gate this Saturday, tomorrow. And then the D itself is going to have their new sports book here subsequent to that here. But Golden Gate this weekend. And so tomorrow they have a promotion, no juice Saturday. So instead of, let's say, the example Mike Palm gave on our, in case you missed VSiN last week thing, was instead of a minus 140 plus 130 dime line, it'll be minus 133 plus 133.
Excellent.
So shaded a little to the dog, but no juice in that respect. That's what that means for baseball. They'll do it for the Champions League final between Liverpool and Tottenham, and they'll also do it for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup NHL Finals tomorrow night. And so one of the things that I said I stopped Derek and Mike, and I said, have you guys considered, and I don't think that they had, I think they were I like to think that they were interested in hearing this, is that I'm telling them, I said, listen, guys, people with large stacks of cash are going to come into town just for this, also with offshore accounts, and they are just going to scalp all day long.
Right.
And I don't think offshores kind of know what's going to hit them unless someone told them, right? In some cases, probably they know. In some cases, probably they don't. And so it's going to be this type of thing where, they're going to set themselves up for, what's the worst that can happen? A break-even day for them, those bettors.
And they're taking like a $5,000 bet on baseball, right? Is that right?
I think so. What were the limits on that, Jeff? Do you remember per sport what they were?
I think I read
it was hefty,
5,000 on baseball,
yeah.
10,000 on that Premier League.
Correct, yeah.
And maybe even 20,000 on the NBA. I'm not sure of the actual numbers, but I know it was something like that.
But I guess what I'm saying to you is, first of all, am I off base? I don't think I am, because I actually think I know a person or two who's going to do that. But it could happen in droves for all we know tomorrow. And at the very worst, they break even, and then they get a whole bunch of comp points over there at Golden Gate.
Oh wow, it's good. It's a great promo.
Sports.
I don't know if so many people per se will be flying into town just for that day to do that. Now, granted, honestly, if you have a good bankroll, you have a 6-figure bankroll, it'll pay for your ticket many times over and everything.
Absolutely. There's a couple coming in. I know for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What time do they start that?
Oh, I know.
You know?
I mean, it's early. It's the first thing in the morning. I know my buddy.
8 a.m.?
Yeah, Meltzer like Seltzer showing up in line at like 7 a.m. for an 8 a.m. open.
Doors open there, or the windows open at 8 a.m.
Yeah. I think, but to your point, what you're saying is right. For as many people as, I think it's a good point because we tend to think that there's this massive swath of gamblers who have that kind of money.
Right.
Probably not as big a pool as some would let you on, about that.
But it's still a really good promotion. Even if you bet a couple $100 a game, you're getting no juice compared to.
Oh, no.
It's worth to do it.
But I do know for a fact we will see a handful of people doing that.
Oh, cool.
Tomorrow. And so it's going to be a fascinating day how it affects offshore and, Yeah, I mean, listen here. I got to go out of town. I wish I could be there because I would love to hang out all day. But I'm so excited for everything they're doing. And to your initial point, what a great thing for Las Vegas.
Yes.
Right? That we have another sort of pillar in the community, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's only going to they're going to be very aggressive, as they've shown from the outset. And so it'll be fascinating to see how they evolve through football season. They've already got the contest that they're doing.
Yeah, so Mike will be a busy guy. Mike Palm. He's going to run these places?
Mike Palm is not running the books, per se.
Oh, he's not? Oh, okay, I didn't know.
No.
What does he do?
What's his title? He's director of, is he, I don't want to get
Like
it
a
wrong.
Jimmy Vaccaro title that he had here, like that? Like
No, he's more, he's not just the sport, he's not just affiliated with Sportsbook. Mike Palm is more of an operational guy.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
He's Derek's consigliere, let's say.
Oh, okay.
Not just a sportsbook guy, yeah.
Right,
he loves to bet sports as well.
Sure. Oh, great. That sounds fun, and I'm glad they're doing that. And then they're going to force some other competition in town to maybe do some things. Only the South Point does the reduced juice that I know of.
That's right.
And they have their specials. They have the tighter money lines and stuff. And I love it here. I mean, this is like, if you're coming to Vegas, you have to bet at the South Point. No question. They have the greatest promotional things like that for big games and big tournaments. And now the D and the Golden Gate is going to have, I'm sure, there are a whole bunch of promotions and stuff.
Yeah, should be. I mean, it's a great weekend for that, and only more like you said, it can only get more exciting. But gaming's got to be on board with allowing more things. Here's the thing: Nevada, as long as it's state by state, Nevada's its own ecosystem. Like every jurisdiction's its own ecosystem. So Nevada is not, from their perspective, they're not competing with a New Jersey operation, right? They don't have to worry about what FanDuel or DraftKings or PointsBet are doing in other jurisdictions. If one of those ends up in this state, different story altogether, right? Then it really changes. In the meantime, though, it's just the same players sort of competing, but hopefully that competition breeds innovation. I will tell you though, when I flew right into Newark and then I got off the plane, I went right to the Meadowlands to FanDuel because I figured, hey, I have money. I had some money in the app there. I took it out because the baseball I'm not going to bet there. So I actually brought a sheet with me, and the spreads there. And then I started looking. It's all of New Jersey. They have their promotions and they don't get the American way of betting baseball though. I noticed FanDuel was minus 122, come back even on a lot of their things. That was the starting juice. And then I started looking, don't you know, like DraftKings, the Golden Nugget, MGM brand, even PointsBet. Let's call them out a little bit, even though they're my buddies and stuff. You have a wider money line. I hate to say this, but the straddle is wider.
Yeah, like they, instead of starting at minus 105, these places are starting. I think I seen the starting structure at 115, minus 115, come back even. But a lot of them are minus 120, or even at the Meadowlands, I seen 122 even.
So there are no dime lines at all.
No, so I hate to say it, the dime line leader is William Hill there. God, imagine me saying that.
Bill Krackomberger.
Krackomberger saying
that. So we can play it back for CEOs. But I mean, really, and Caesars, I guess, starts at one. I think they start. I'm not 100% positive. I think Caesars in Atlantic City also. But I mean, they just don't. The European way is different. With the money lines in general. So now, granted, like I said, during the season, and by the way, PointsBet had 105 on the NBA, 105 juice on the side and totals and NFL. But yet, when it comes to baseball and it comes to money lines in general, all those sports books there, they just don't grasp the American way of betting sports. Well, I think they do grasp
betting baseball.
I think they do grasp it.
They just say, hey.
And they just say, none the wiser, right?
Right.
These new bettors don't know what the heck.
And they really didn't too. FanDuel was packed that night. I was so surprised because everyone's 80% of the betting's done on the apps. So I was pretty surprised how busy it was in there. One thing I'll never understand still. So I took a withdrawal from FanDuel and one from Sugar House, which is in Atlantic City actually, even though Sugar House is in Philadelphia, the Golden Nugget cage. So you have to email. You can't just go, I deposit money in the cage or at the window, and you can't just go to the cage to get your money back out of the account. You have to email customer service. I guess it goes across the pond, and they have to email back, talk to this person, get an eye scan and a fingerprint from this person. By the time I get my money, it's at least 3 hours, sometimes 48 hours.
Oh.
because I was there trying to get money out. Last time I was in New Jersey, I emailed them, and the next day it was 24 hours, and they said, it hasn't reached us yet. I mean, I just hasn't reached you yet. You got a cage full of money.
Yeah.
You know, people can really go crazy.
Well, all of that falls on the category for me, and this is what some folks were saying behind the scenes before legalization, and was sort of the sentiment behind the scenes here in Nevada for some was like, hey, let's be careful what we wish for, right? And in some respects, Nevada, for all that we might criticize them for not being sort of as forward-thinking as other jurisdictions, in some senses, just the ones you're talking about right there, thank goodness we're here, right? That we have dime lines up to a certain point.
Yes.
Where other places, they don't even exist at all.
Yep.
You know, so
absolutely.
So let us be fair about that.
Yep.
Bill Krackomberger in studio at Bill Crackman with the K on Twitter. I'm at Beating the Book. We'll talk more with Vinny on the way as well, right here at studio. Vinny Maliulo, slow jamming with Vinny, coming up on a numbers game at VSiN.
It's a numbers game, live from the tip of the strip in Las Vegas. Get your fill of numbers even after the show is over by following the crew on Twitter, at Beating the Book and at VSiN Live. To a numbers game with your host, Gill Alexander, broadcasting live from our VSiN studios in Las Vegas.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. Let's see. Inferior Bowl. Just saw Australia go from 16-1 to 14-1 offshore when you guys were talking about it, Women's World Cup. Did I do that? It'll happen sometimes on this show where that'll happen, especially in a market like that that's easy to move. So 14-1 on Australia. But again, you might be able to find better in some spots. Hey, Gil, I think I might be lost. Is this the place for the Slow Jamming with Vinny show? And if so, when is the request line open? Thanks. Yeah, all your DeBarge and mint condition requests, we're taking them right now. 1-800-VSiN Jams. I shouldn't give away fake numbers. Who knows where that leads to? Vinny's coming up momentarily. Here's one from that Pepsi guy. Is that Golden Gate Sportsbook? This is the opening for Derek Stevens, Mike Palm, and crew tomorrow. Are they going to have an app for sports betting? Yes. Or are the lines tomorrow going to be out the door? Maybe, because there will be an app, but the promotion, the no juice promotion, is over the counter.
Excellent.
So let's clarify that. So that's the story there tomorrow. Did you have a story you wanted to tell, Bill? You were talking on Twitter. You're like, oh, I got a story to tell. I'll put you on the spot.
You know what? I'm on three and a half hours sleep. I don't.
You're not gonna tell us?
Nah. I mean, one funny thing. I walk at the PointsBet office, and this giant guy. I hope he can listen. I don't care. 7-foot guy, 6'10", comes up to me, and he's from somewhere. I guess they're Aussies. I believe. He says to me, "Hey, while you're here, can you unblock me?"
Another guy.
And
did you go into the whole? I had a guy.
I did.
I
had a guy.
Everybody.
Don't you know? I said, well, what's your? I said, I'm sorry if you are. I'm going to start unblocking people. He says, a big Luke at. I was like, oh my, wow, and that was his name too. But I just thought it was kind of funny. I was like,
very angry.
I wonder why we blocked. I'm sorry. I have no idea why we blocked you, Big Luke.
The story again. It goes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say the story because it's true.
It's true.
You had a guy.
Yeah, social media guy.
You had a social media because you were
take over my account and he blocked 1,100 people. 1,100. There's still like 900 on their block.
Did 1,100 people say something rude?
No, he blocked all political, church groups, anyone like anything like Big Luke. I don't know.
Did you say to Big Luke? What did you say to me?
No, he didn't say anything. But I think he might have had a shirt on the. I don't even know, like something like that. But
wow,
yeah, that's so stupid. I'm unblocking people. That are blocked by. There are some people that do say some things. People don't like me. That's really
you're
unbelievable.
Very lovable and cuddly. People don't know you.
No, people don't like the hat. It annoys them.
It's the Kangol.
No, it's like John Candy and Uncle Buck. They don't like me.
I don't like that.
Slightly overweight or something. Who knows?
Bill AD from VSiN, one of our VSiN executives, came in and wanted to clarify on the PointsBet stuff because I had asked you. I was like, "What do you mean you can make a bet about everything just on sports, or could I say, oh, Bill tripping out of the casino or whatever, right?" Yeah. And he actually is saying, "No, you actually can propose.
Yes, you could propose
Something
anything
about anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
like will Gill wear the pouring glasses with the pink shirt again at one
Exactly.
time
Like
during the
that.
season?
Just like that.
Yeah, which
But-
I love, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That, too, is easily corruptible. By the way, since you
Yes.
bring up the pink shirt, I should probably mention Jeff was asking me when I was telling him about my dream earlier about giving away the World Book Encyclopedias to Tim Gunn from Project Runway. He was like, how did Tim Gunn get in your dream? And I think the answer is, and Bill, I'm betting on the French Open night after night, there's a commercial with him on, and that's how he seeped into my dreams, I think. That's the story.
Cool.
That's the story I'm going with anyway. But yes, you can make any...
You can make any kind of
any
a wager.
wager.
They asked me to do 2 of them and put 2 of them up
What
for
did-
them.
what did you do?
I didn't do it yet. They said
Oh.
by football season when they'll really they have like 6 of them up there right, or 8 of them up there right now. But however, though, I'm sure you and I can definitely talk to them guys, and we'll get some interesting things up there.
We got to be clever, though, because it can't be, as you say, corruptible.
Right.
Right. Because we could easily
Sure.
do that. And they do prefer it for football because that has greater legs.
Yes.
And everybody will get interested in that.
Yep. And hopefully PointsBet is. I know they're actively trying, so hopefully they can get a couple more jurisdictions in there and get some more people in the pool.
Okay. So about what I was talking about, what I was betting on. So I don't know what you're betting on these days. NBA Finals, NHL Finals, baseball. Obviously, has baseball been good to you?
Baseball is the beginning of the season was great. This last couple of weeks have been terrible. Yet yesterday was a really good day, so it's a good sign. I really don't bet too much NBA. Of course, I did the video yesterday at PointsBet. They kind of put me on a spot about they wanted a winner. Everyone wants the NBA Finals, so
Sure.
I did say Toronto's a good. I wouldn't be laying 3-1 on any series with either one of these teams, or any team right now. So. I leaned to Toronto, and now where you can actually get off that bet and you can do some hedging or arbitrage. As a matter of fact, I have a follower of mine. He follows you too. He's a foot doctor in town here, Dr. Bregman.
Oh yeah, I know.
And he asked me what you thought about Golden State. What do you think about now? You can lay 150. Now, I know what I think, and I'm going to have an answer to this. Let's see what you think. What do you think?
Let's preface it by saying I already have a bet on them from way back when at minus 230. It wasn't a particularly
so
good
you're
number.
not. So you're not going to.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not hugely incentivized to keep going. But the thing that I was saying about this game this morning was, it's amazing how everybody's overreacting to Game 1, right? Like even people. So I would, they're texting left and right, like, oh my, I don't know. This Raptors team looks like they got their number. I'm like, whoa, did you think the Warriors were sweeping this? Like, relax.
Right. They were favorite in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Toronto was favorite.
And I had Adam Stanko on the show yesterday. He's like, this is a must-win for Toronto. So if you believe that, Toronto did what they had to do.
Sure.
My general comment for both the Stanley Cup Finals, especially for the Stanley Cup Finals, but also for the NBA Finals is, everybody, if we've learned anything, stop overreacting to one game, right? Let's not do the sports radio thing where the narrative shifts so dramatically from one game to the next. Oh, they're the greatest team in the world. Oh, they're gonna get crushed. Let's not do that. But no, so to answer your question, I'm probably not jumping back in at this moment. I probably will bet Golden State for Game 2, though. That's what I'm thinking I'll do.
Okay.
But as I've been, and this is where I'm going with this, I've been telling people, on Monday I had 2 guests talking about the French Open, which is tennis's second major. And the point that I've been making, and I think if there's one thing to take away from the show this week, and it's this. It's while you're banging your head against the wall betting baseball, not you, but generally speaking, a better baseball, the NBA Finals from game to game, or the NBA playoffs from game to game, the Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe you're doing well. If so, mazel tov. Most people, one night they win, the next night they lose. Actually, most people, maybe they lose more than they win. But betting these other sports, if you have an expertise in another sport that is less sort of paid attention to, whether it's tennis, which happens to be mine, golf, obviously we have a golf show, WNBA has just started. People love that. That is sort of what I've been trying to get people to understand this week, or just to sort of have them think differently. And I'm curious if you subscribe to that same theory.
Sure. Oh, the small market sports. Like, listen, NBA sides, I haven't bet many at all throughout the season. But I'll be betting like college baseball when it starts here. I think it's starting this weekend. WNBA, very good to bet on. A lot of casinos take that, so I'm really happy. But yeah, I absolutely subscribe to betting into the smaller market things than betting the marquee things like NBA. And of course, when I think about NFL sides, the same type of thing. I will say, if you're going to bet this game, I would get on Toronto early, and I would get on Golden State late.
Interesting.
I think you'll be able to get a better price. The public sees only the last game, and they just think about that. So they kind of seem to bet that team, even though this is like almost not a must-win, but this is, the public just sees something, and they just, like you said, to your email thing or your Twitter, what people are saying a little bit. I personally, Dr. Bregman, by the way, I would not be laying the 150 on Golden State here, but I think some people may do that. I'm not taking Toronto either, but that's the way I go about betting this game. I would be betting. As a matter of fact, I just look at the offshore market, which controls the industry basically, and you can see Chris now at -2, -17 on Toronto. So
-2, -17.
-2, -17 for Sunday's game.
It's funny what you say. And this is, by the way, this is a fool's errand because none of us really know which way the market's going to go in the end. We're just making our most calculated guess on that. I think what you're saying is true in most cases, right? That if you say bet Golden State late, I think in this case, because people are affected by recency, I do think the Warriors are the one possible exception to that rule.
With the weekend crowd coming in,
yeah,
the
the weekend crowd, but also the fact that they are the Warriors, right? And so they've won 3 out of the last 4 championships. And I do think there is a point of resistance here where people are like, "Whoa, let's not lose our minds. We're still talking about the Warriors here," and everybody will start. So I actually think it'll go the other way in this case. Okay. I do, but who knows?
Hey, let's see what happens.
I could be wildly wrong.
Cool.
On that.
That's a bet we could put a points bet. Will Gill Alexander be right or Bill Krackomberger be right?
That's right. Which way will this line move? We can do we got to make it more creative than that. Got to put our lines together.
Yeah.
Coming back, Billy, some more from Bill Crackman, and Vinny Maliulo will step in, get his perspective from behind the desk here at the South Point, right here on a numbers game at VSiN.
It's a numbers game, live from the tip of the strip in Las Vegas. Get your fill of numbers even after the show is over by following the crew on Twitter, @BeatingTheBook and @VSiN Live.